And now, the way it used to be, here's Joey.
Hey everybody, it's Joey Ciccone. I want to welcome you today on Friday, September 11th. Okay, the Joey Ciccone Show, the way it used to be. It's going to be a little different today. I have a wonderful guest here that I'm going to introduce here shortly. I'll have another guest later on in the second hour. But what I want to talk about right now is I'm going to dedicate this to all the families and people that were lost on September 11th. Being born in Brooklyn, New York, it really touched me, and I know it's touched a lot of people out there. So to my family, to my friends and fans, today is a special day, and you know, I'll never forget it. I'm sure you won't either. Where were you on that day? Okay, I want you to call in today and tell me. Call us and share your story. 702-483-4444. My beautiful friend here, Phyllis. Okay, I'm gonna talk about her in a little bit here and tell you that Heackley, right? I got it. There it is. So I'm going to talk about it in a minute, but yeah, Phyllis Heackley, United Airlines flight attendant. She's going to tell her story and talk about a chilling story to tell. It's really not public yet, and then there's a book in the works possibly, okay, with Green Cat Ventures, and we'll talk about that. Phyllis, lovely to have you here, my dear.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Yeah, it really means a lot that you came down today on such a special day.
Oh, thank you. Thanks.
You know, as we know, it's the way things used to be. Vegas, music, Joey, all kinds of things. So we don't want to make it a morbid day, but we really want to talk about the feelings of that day and the days leading up to 9/11. And as we have our friends here, a lot of guys from New York, I personally lost a lot of friends in that building. So
so sad.
It's
so
a rough
horrible.
day. So
yes,
yeah, and as we spoke on the phone, I'm gonna get a little water here. As we spoke on the phone, some of the stories. So I just want to I want to really get right into it. You were with United Airlines, what, about 1998?
Right. Yeah, that's when I started.
Okay, move in just a little bit.
Okay.
There. We want to hear your beautiful voice, right?
My voice doesn't carry very well,
That's
so I'm glad
right.
I've got a mic.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It's fantastic, fantastic.
Yeah.
So 98.
98. And
Go ahead.
I was so excited because I always wanted to be a flight attendant. I'd been in real estate previous to that and was tired of that. And when I got the job, I was just thrilled. And you know, going to training, I mean, everyone in our class, we were all so excited and couldn't wait to get our uniforms and, you know, just wondering what the future held for us. It was just really
Exactly. And
exciting.
folks, you know, in radio land right now, and you'll see the podcast tomorrow, she's a lovely lady, and like if I was on a plane, I'd want her, like, can you bring me a 7 and 7 and, you know, take care of me? She's got the flight attendant look. Come on, am I right? In the studio, yes, I'm right. I'm right. Okay, so
gosh.
I believe we were talking yesterday. You were in Denver,
Right.
and you had
based in Denver.
right, and you had an opportunity to move into, I guess, another field, is what it was, right?
Yeah, completely different, and was a little bit scary at first, you know, because I was on reserve in Denver because it's very senior in Denver, and you can't hold a line. So I never knew. I knew what days off I would have, but the rest of the time, are they going to call me out or are they not? So you kind of hung around the house, didn't go too far away because you might get a phone call saying you've got a trip here or there.
Right.
And
I want to back up a little bit. So you went. You were in Denver. You went to your training in Chicago.
Right. 9 weeks of
our
training
hometown,
in
Chicago.
Yeah.
Oh, Chicago O'Hare. Come on, it's like crazy. And so it's 9 weeks.
9 weeks of intense training.
Yeah, intense training, right?
Yeah, right. And in TK, it was called. That was our emergency training. We went over so many things, but we went over hijackings.
Right,
and
of all things, right?
Of all things. And I mean, it was horrifying. You know, as we sat there, we saw movies, we saw different things, and they talked to us about what to do if we were hijacked. And of course, then it was just be compliant, do what they ask.
Do what they ask,
Yeah,
exactly.
and that's changed now.
Right.
But I remember sitting there thinking, boy, I'm glad I'm based in Denver. I won't be flying international, and we don't have hijackings happen here in America, so I felt pretty safe.
Right.
You know.
So just to let you know, I'm going to paint a picture here, because right now we're radio today. So all my friends and fans out there, I want you to really check out this story. So paint a picture. She's learning to be a flight attendant, goes to Chicago, does all the training, and obviously your training is hijacking and dealing with situations like that you never think
would happen.
you're going to be dealing with this.
Because
like you said, it wasn't really international flights, and sometimes you think like, we're going to France and we're taking it to Vietnam or something, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that really wasn't in your mind or anything.
No.
But you did your training, right?
Did my training.
Go ahead.
Went home to Denver.
Back to Denver.
Started flying, and it was a lot of fun. I mean, I was really having a good time, and meeting a lot of interesting people and everything.
I just want to throw this in, if it's all right now. Okay, all right.
Okay.
Rocky Mountain High,
yeah,
Colorado.
Yes, it was.
She jumped out of her seat about maybe 3 inches. She's a tiny girl. She jumped out of her seat. Yeah, I got a big mouth. Yeah, I can. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you like that?
I like that.
Yeah,
I love
we
the
gotta
Rocky
laugh.
Mountains. Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
So now we're in Denver.
Yeah.
And you're, as I like to say, to make it kind of funny, you're low girl on the totem pole.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
So
So I
tell
never
us about
knew.
that.
I never knew where I was going to be going. I could be good for 4 days, and that meant I was off. I could work 4 days, then maybe I'd be off 3 days, and they'd call me and say, "We've got a trip for you. You're going to Chicago and then to Atlanta. Who knows what?"
Right.
And anyway, I get to Chicago, and now they've changed their mind because somebody else on another flight got sick or whatever. So now I'm not going to Atlanta. I'm going to L.A. And things like this happened all the time. I just never knew quite how to pack, so I packed, for weather on all parts of the country.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and it could be really grueling.
Well,
really could.
we were talking about that yesterday, and it's not all what it's cracked up to be. But
It isn't. It's very tiring. They can work you 14-hour duty days, 8 hours in the air, and the rest of the time sitting on the ground.
Right.
And it is tiring. It really is. And then by the time you get to your layover, you might get 6 hours sleep if it's a short layover, and then you're up the next morning, back to the airport, and go again. And
and you never get to see the area too much, right?
Right, you don't. I was in a lot of cities all over the nation,
Right.
and but as far as getting to see a whole lot, there's no time. You just are in and out.
Right, and so everyone, all my friends and fans out there, you're always giving a hard time to the attendant. She looks pissed off, or he's got an attitude and everything.
Yeah.
Well, man, if you had to do it every day, you might too.
Right, and some days 6 legs a day. Get them on,
Could
get
you
them
imagine?
off, get them on, get them off.
And then what do you do?
was-
You go to the hotel, go to sleep, maybe
layover,
take a bath.
Right, and
Can you have a little vino or something?
yeah, you can.
Okay.
Not in uniform, but yeah, you could.
All right,
when
so you could have a
yeah.
little bit, and then
Yeah.
you get up
And then-
maybe the next day and you're off again.
Maybe fly back home, and now I'm off for 3 days or whatever.
Exactly.
And, then start again.
And then you start again.
Yeah.
Okay, so now, on the anniversary of today, we're talking very important day. I want to jump to September 1st, 2001.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
I want you to start right now and take over.
Okay.
I'm going to sit here and drink my vodka. I mean my water.
Okay. Now, September 1st, I had a flight from Denver to Boston. Check-in time was about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And so I felt relieved the night before that I didn't have to get up real early to the alarm or anything. I thought, great, don't have to check in till 1 o'clock. And so got to the airport and get to the plane, and we have our briefing and everything, and everybody boards, and we have to hold up the plane. And there was apparently a group of people that came in from Las Vegas, of all places, and their plane was a little late, so we held ours up so they could make the flight. And this group of men got on the plane, and they were very quiet. They
Give me the.
You could tell that they were
I'm getting the
together.
Remember yesterday I told you I was getting the goosebumps. Not to interrupt.
Yeah.
I'm getting them again though.
They just seemed a little nervous and quiet, like they didn't want to be conspicuous or something. And I was going down the aisle doing the last check, and one of them had Mohammed Al-Ghamdi, I believe it was, had his bag sitting not under the seat, but where his feet were. And I said to him, I said, "Sir, could you please put that bag under the seat so in case you had to get out in a hurry, you wouldn't trip over it?" And he looked back up at Muhammad Atta and had the weirdest grin. And I walked on down the aisle, and I got goosebumps all over. And I remember thinking, boy, some people are really weird. And
Right.
I just don't know what it was.
You
and
had that feeling.
yeah.
And well, we know
Yeah.
we know some people are really weird. We
yes.
run across them,
But this was, I don't know, it just struck me so strange. And anyway, then we're taxiing out, and normally what we do as we're taxiing out is we be sure the galley is set up and everything, and we had a lot of what they call Asian vegan meals on this flight, and you need to match up the name of the person with the seat, and so that they get the right meal, special meal that they ordered before.
Right. Now you were talking to me yesterday about this when we were just touching on that. So it's a meal non-meat.
Right.
Vegan,
it's
right?
Asian vegan. Right.
Yeah.
And that's what they all
And so
ordered.
they're all having that.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And
so anyway, as we're taxiing out, I said to Alicia Titus, who was on flight 175, by the way, who's no longer with us.
Our prayers go out to her and her family.
Yes. I told her, I said, boy, there's a lot of these on this flight. What is this, a convention or something? And we were laughing and, joking around. And I said, okay, I'll read the name off. You write it on the tag. And the first one was Muhammad Atta. And I said, okay, Muhammad Atta, or is it Atta? She says, oh, Atta, whatever, and wrote it on the tag. And
right.
it was Muhammad Al-Ghamdi. And I said, wait a minute, there's two Al-Ghamdis. And Satam
yeah, the
I
names.
can't remember the names.
Yeah.
They were strange names. But anyway, we went down the list.
Right.
And it stood out in my mind. And I know when I went to serve Muhammad Atta his meal, he refused to take it, and he didn't say anything. His mouth was straight across. He was sitting there. I thought he might be asleep. He had his eyes closed.
Right.
And I said, Mr. Atta, and he opened his eyes and he just went like this with his hand. No. And I thought, ooh, okay. And I think I said something like, are you sure it is a long flight?
Right. Exactly.
No, so okay, all right, and so that was.
Are we going to roll straight through to 432? Excuse me. Okay, little direction. Thank you.
Okay.
All right,
Yeah.
I apologize.
That's okay.
Having a little technical stuff and everything.
Oh.
Got off on it. We're all good.
Okay.
Please continue with.
Okay.
I just want to throw this in, folks out there. These names. You know what I would basically call them. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't even call them by their
Right.
names, but I want you to continue right now. So you're serving them basically a vegan meal, and there's like a vibe going on the plane. And
yeah, they were just very strange. And I believe it was Muhammad Al-Ghamdi got up and came to the back in the galley where I was after we'd served the food and everything late in the flight, and asked me for a drink of water. And so I turned my back. He was standing here, and I said, oh, sure. And turn my back and pour the water and hand him the cup. And he stood there for the longest time. He never drank the water. He just stared down the aisle of the plane. And he was perspiring something terrible. His whole shirt was just wet. And I thought, boy, is he afraid to fly, or what is this man's problem?
Now,
and then he just set the cup down and went and sat down.
So what was going through your mind were you thinking anything, or was it just
I was just
little
thinking
strange,
this was so
this group
strange.
was a little strange.
Why is he standing back here?
He's
That's
standing
what I kept
there.
thinking. Why is he standing back here?
Now, did they acknowledge?
And people do crazy things. I mean, they'd come back in the galley and stand in one place and jog. You know,
Right.
I mean, people do
No, I know.
crazy
You got.
things.
I flew.
Yeah.
I flew to Vietnam. I had to get up and stretch 4,000
Yeah.
times.
Oh,
You know.
yeah.
It's not. It's not no
Right.
4-hour flight.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but
but that was very strange. It was just a.
he's down there
odd.
looking down the aisle with the water, sweating.
And then he goes and sits down.
Did you talk to
and
the
then,
other flight attendants? Did you mention anything?
I think we did talk. You know, saying that was kind of strange.
Right.
But you know, we don't think too much of things. We didn't at the time.
Right. Now-
And but now it would be different.
Of course,
But-
because
Yeah.
in hindsight, we don't know these things. So
Right.
So the
right.
flight's going on, right?
Right. And so we get into Boston, and because I was Denver based, I had to lay over, but the rest of the crew were home. That was their base. So they just went on home. And so I went down through baggage claim to catch the shuttle to the hotel, and I looked over and I saw the group standing there
so-
renting a car.
Right, now slow
at the
down here.
Car rental place.
Right, now slow down here a minute.
Okay.
So, okay. I want to just let them know because I know the story here. So I want you to listen to this part because it tells a little bit of a story here, and I'll let her continue now. But I really want you to check out what's going on here as she's sitting there to pick up the shuttle.
Yeah. Anyway, it took a while for the shuttle to get there, and finally gets there, and it's full of people. Usually they weren't that full, but this day it was jam-packed. And I couldn't there was no room for my bag. And
Right,
so
right.
the driver, who was, I'm going to say he was Afghanistan.
Yeah, that's
from
what you mentioned from Afghanistan.
But
yeah.
I'm not positive, but
Right.
he had that accent and everything. But
Right.
he jumped up and he says, "Oh, no, I get it for you." And he took my bag and was going to put it in the back of the shuttle. And I went back just to be sure he got it on because it was so full. And two other men that were also of Mideast descent came
Yeah.
over, and they all knew each other. And they're high-fiving each other. They're jumping up and down. They are grinning and standing there looking at these guys thinking, wow, is it their Christmas or something? They were so excited. And
Yeah.
I thought, they have something really big planned. That's what went through my mind.
So you see,
And
yeah, they're all
it's
excited,
unbelievable.
like
Yeah.
they're heading to. They left Vegas, but like they're heading to Vegas or something for a bachelor party or something.
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah.
So they're all celebrating. I wonder what they were celebrating.
And see, these guys that I saw out by the shuttle there, they worked at the airport. They weren't, they may have been part of the hijackers. I'm not
That's
sure.
right.
I couldn't
That's-
identify them. but-
Exactly.
But they knew
You
what
don't
was
know
going
that.
on, I'm sure.
So you see these
Yeah.
guys all excited. You're like, and you
Yeah.
know, you don't think of these things. It's like anything in life. We could we go through certain things, and
We're so naive, or we're so innocent until something like this happens.
Till something
you just
happens.
never think that, you know, anything like
anything's
this
going to
could
happen. So, so what
Yeah.
happens then?
Okay,
Continue
well
on.
then anyway, you know, I lay over in Boston, and then I fly a few more days. I don't remember, and I flew on September 10th. I had a turn from Denver to San Jose and back home again. And I got in late at night on the 10th. And I thought, I think I'll call my sister. I normally didn't, because it was like 10 o'clock at night. She usually goes to bed much earlier.
Right.
But I thought, I think I'll call her anyway. So I did. And we chatted for a while, and then I went to bed. And next morning, the phone rings, and it's early, around 7, I think it was, our time. And I looked at the caller ID, and it was Jody, and I thought, I just talked to her last night. Why is she calling me this early in the morning, you know?
Right.
So but I answer, and she said, Phil, she said, you've got to get up and turn the TV on. A plane's hit a building in New York. And I said, oh my God, is it United? She said, I don't know. Just get up.
That's the first thing you said. Like, is
So-
it United?
Yeah.
Isn't that
Is it-
something like
yeah.
just to say, out of all the planes? I mean, is
right.
it United?
Is it United? Yeah.
Wow.
And so anyway, I get up and turn the TV on, and I mean, I saw the plane hit the second building, and I was just, I was so traumatized. I just sat there all day. I don't think usually I get up and, you know, you get up and you brush your teeth and you
Yeah.
go have your coffee and everything.
Right.
I just sat there all day and never did anything. I was just so
Right.
traumatized.
And on that, just hold there a minute. Like I said, friends, where were you that day? I know where I was. I could tell you everything. And I was glued to the TV, calling up family. I had to perform in the afternoon that day, and rough performance. I mean, not rough doing the job, you know, because I've been doing it for 40 years, but that feeling in your gut that we had, that we've been basically messed with.
Yes.
And it's my show, so I can say basically effed with. And people died that didn't have to die, and
it was...
It tears me up.
It was surreal. It just...
Right. The line you told me...
This can't be...
The line you told me yesterday, and, you know, I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but, like,
right.
it's okay. I know you do a lot of radio and TV, so...
No.
It's all fine, but the point is this. I want you to tell our friends out there the line you told me. You flew those people to... But tell me the way you said it, because it gave me chills.
Oh, okay. Well...
This is September 1st I'm talking about.
Back on the 1st.
You flew...
Yes, when they went into Boston. And by the way, what they did when they got to Boston, according to the report, is they rented a car, drove to Portland, Maine, and laid low for
9
days,
days,
and then came back.
Right.
But anyway, the crew that I flew with, Alicia Titus, Robert Fangman, and Michael Theroux, were on flight 175 that hit the tower. And anyway, after all of this had happened, and I talked to my supervisor about it, and then a few months later, a gal that was helping me write the book asked me, she said, Phyllis, have you ever heard from the crew that flew with you the day you took them into Boston? And I said, no. And I said, I don't understand it. And I couldn't really remember names or anything. It was the weirdest thing. And so I went home and I highlighted all the crew from Boston. Right. And then it hit me. The reason I haven't heard from them is because they were the ones that were killed. And I could not... I was so traumatized. I really was suffering from
post-traumatic
stress.
Exactly.
And I blocked it out of my mind.
Of course you did.
And then when I really realized what had happened, I cried myself to sleep again.
Well, just like we're here in Vegas, just like rolling this roulette and hitting a big number, when you put money on there and maybe you do hit the big number and everything, there's a chance you could have been
absolutely
on that flight, and you might not be sitting here with us right now relaying the story. Friends, I just want to let you know that I'm here with my friend Phyllis Heackley, United Airlines flight attendant. Me and her spoke yesterday. She doesn't do this anymore, okay? You heard her story there. Call in and ask her a question if you want. 702-483-4444. I want to stop right there for a minute.
Okay.
I want to go to the clip, please. And I want you all to check this out. In your heart, the feeling on that day, September 11th, 2001. Where were you? Call us. Talk to me and Phyllis. By the way, I'm Joey Ciccone. I don't know if you know that, all right? Check this out.
September 11th, 2001. A day of grief. A day of courage. This is how that day unfolded.
My daughter called me. She said, a plane just flew into the World Trade Center. I said, nah, you gotta be kidding. It's gotta be a Piper Cub or some clown was flying down the river.
At 8:46 a.m., American Airlines Flight 11 from Boston, with 92 aboard, traveling at a speed of 470 miles per hour, strikes the North Tower of the World Trade Center complex. Within minutes, officials coordinate the citywide emergency response. Their base of operations is a state-of-the-art command center located on the 23rd floor of 7 World Trade Center. With one tower in flames, the tragedy is only beginning. It is 9:03 when United Airlines Flight 175, with 65 aboard, traveling at the speed of 590 miles per hour, smashes into the South Tower of the World Trade Center. This aircraft strikes the corner of the South Tower. It rips a diagonally shaped gash from the 84th to the 78th floors. The South Tower lasts only 56 minutes before it succumbs at 9:59 a.m. A dust cloud billows outward for blocks. Victims stagger away. At 10:28, the television mast atop the North Tower spears straight down.
Once the collapse started, there really wasn't any way to stop it. It was just going to go all the way down once it got started.
Chaos in New York City. Power is down in Lower Manhattan. Phone lines jammed with more than 230 million calls. Hundreds of firefighters trapped in the towers. Hundreds more race to the scene. Falling debris from the collapse of the North and South Towers ignites fires in the neighboring buildings of the World Trade Center. World Trade 4, 5, and 6 are ablaze. World Trade 7, the building housing the city's command center, burns unchecked for 7 hours. At 5:20, it collapses. The city's emergency nerve center is destroyed.
Somewhere in that time, and it's very hard to keep track of time during this, they had been ordered to evacuate number 7 by the Port Authority. To this day, we don't know who gave that order, but whoever it was saved a lot of people's lives.
With New York a war zone, some residents walk across the Brooklyn Bridge to get out of the city. Others seek escape in vessels piloted by the Army Corps of Engineers. At 7:45 p.m., the New York Police Department says 78 officers are missing and estimates that 200 firefighters are dead. At 10:56 p.m., police officials say they believe there are victims alive in the rubble of the World Trade Center.
Working with urban search and rescue teams, there was a lot of areas to be searched underneath the debris field. There were voids that had to be searched for possible live people.
September 11th, 2001, the longest and most tragic day in New York's history, is drawing to a close.
There must be lights burning brighter somewhere. Got to be birds flying higher in a sky more blue. If I can dream of a better land where all my brothers walk hand in hand, tell me why, oh why, oh why can't my dream come true? Oh why? There must be peace and understanding sometime. Strong winds of promise that will blow away the doubts and fear. If I can dream of a warmer sun where hope keeps shining on everyone, tell me why, oh why, oh why won't that sun appear? We're lost in a cloud, too much rain. We're trapped in a world that's troubled with But as long as a man has the strength to dream, he can redeem his soul and fly. Deep in my heart, there's a trembling question. Still I am sure that the answer's gonna come somehow. Out there in the dark, there's a beckoning candle. Oh, oh, while I can think, while I can talk, while I can stand, while I can walk, while I can dream. Please let me dream, let it come true.
Thank you, folks. That goes out to all the families and friends of September 11th. God bless you. I'm going to sit back down. You know, I'm singing. I'm interviewing. You know, we're doing it all over here on the Joey Ciccone Show. So you bear with me today. You know, it's a very, very important day. Here with my friend Phyllis, United Airlines flight attendant. On September 1st, she, the line I was going for, let me take a little sip here. Line I was going for is the one you told me yesterday. We flew those murderers to Boston.
Right. We flew their murderers into Boston.
And I wanted to hear it.
Knowing.
I wanted to hear that from you. Let me hear that one more time again.
We flew their murderers, served them meals and everything, took them into Boston. It just so sad. And Alicia and Robert Fangman had only been flying about 9 months. They were new. They were so excited, loved their job, and were beautiful people. And
well, just like yourself. I mean, you know, they were new, and they're just taken out because of all this ignorance in the world. Sorry, folks.
Yeah.
Got a little upset.
Yeah.
Italian guys do that sometimes. You know what I'm saying, bud?
But anyway, I guess after 9/11, when I sat there for most of the week watching TV every day, and they finally put the pictures up of the hijackers, and I'm sitting there thinking, I know those men. I've seen those men, you know, but I couldn't remember right off what flight, where did I see them, and then I started thinking, and then I remember when they said the names, I thought, that was when we went to Boston. But I thought, what day was it that we went to Boston? And
exactly, because you were.
Yeah, it was. I was just so traumatized and trying to put everything together in my mind. And the sad thing was, you know, I tried calling my supervisor. I tried calling United, but the phones. I mean, you couldn't get through. You couldn't talk to anybody, and I felt very isolated at home. Well, and I was really anxious to fly again, just so I could get back out there and see everybody and, you know, be with them.
Right, but that feeling of that anxiety's gotta just fall all over your body, and then you're like,
it was traumatic. And so anyway, the first day that they lifted the planes, I was called out to go to D.C.
And this is how many days after this? So September, after September 11th.
After the 11th, then it was the following Saturday that they
so
said
a week
we
passed
could start flying again.
Right.
And the whole system was messed up. I mean, they had to land planes where United never landed. It was not even on their route. They just got them out of the air on the 11th. They just put everybody down.
So everyone was on the ground for United, correct?
Yeah.
Well, all planes were down on the ground, weren't they?
Everything. No? Everybody was, yes.
Yeah.
And so finally Saturday, then they said, okay, you can start flying again. But now the whole system was messed up. We had flight attendants stuck here and there and everywhere. And some of them rented cars and drove home and, you know, things like that. So it was kind of a mess. It took some time to get things back in line. And, of course, the passengers, they were stranded wherever they were. And so here, Saturday, I get called out, and now we've got all these people that have been stranded in Denver for 3-4 days, right. And now they finally get to go home. And usually boarding, was pretty jovial and everything.
Oh, yeah. Tell me, you were telling me yesterday. Remember the when you got back on and how people were acting and everything?
Yeah. It was a very somber, solace boarding. Nobody said anything. Everybody was very polite to the next person. It was as though all at once people cared about other people. And what I had always noticed before 9/11 was how people just didn't seem to care about others. They were always in a hurry. They were upset or this or that. They'd get upset if you didn't have the right drink for them,
or going through security, or just everyone was just
And now today it was almost like, I guess they were thinking, thank God I'm alive. And they were stunned, I think, too, and so saddened that nobody knew what to say. And they just hugged us and thanked us for being there for them.
And they had to fly, whether they had to fly for work or whatever had to do, they had to do that. And you had to work and you had to be on there.
Yeah.
And folks, if you've ever dealt with any type of post-traumatic stress, I personally know some facts about it myself, and good friends of mine that have had it. And it's something that can mess with you, and thank God you're healthy and that you're not in the field anymore now.
No,
we understand that.
Yeah,
and,
now I'm happily married, and
yes, you have a very wonderful husband, Vic.
I do.
And
yes.
Vic Heackley. Hopefully, we're going to have him on the show coming up here. Vic was a dealer for 22 years at Caesar's Palace, and the Joey Ciccone show is the way it used to be. Now you're asking yourself, Joe, but today's September 11th. Yeah, we're talking about the way it used to be before September 11th.
Right.
You heard from Phyllis, people cared. You know what I'm saying?
It was so different afterwards.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
For a while.
Right.
It didn't last.
It didn't last, I'm sorry, but I got to say this. The world is a different place now.
Yes.
It's not all about you, friends.
Yeah.
It's not all about you, okay?
Yeah.
Remember that, all right?
Yeah.
Why don't you call in, 702-483-4444. Phyllis will answer a question. I'll answer something. Go ahead and give us a call, okay? I want to give a shout-out to my buddy out there. He was on my first show. Tom Dreesen's birthday is today, okay? Well-known comedian with Frank Sinatra, 14 years. Maybe we'll give him a call in a little bit, see if he answers. But, Tommy, happy birthday to you. I don't know, 37 years old? I don't know. I'm making that up. I don't know what it is. But happy birthday to you on that, pal. On a lighter note, and I think we're going to go to American Trilogy. Let's do that. Check this song out, because we're keeping it very... Today's Patriot Day. Did you know that? Are you a patriot? Well, you will be after this song. Check it out.
Oh, I wish I was in the land of cotton. Old times there are not forgotten. Look away, look away, look away, Dixieland. Oh, I wish I was in Dixie, away, away, in Dixieland I'll take my stand, to live and die in Dixie. For in Dixieland, where I was born, early one frosty morn, look away, look away, look away, Dixieland. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. His truth is mercy. So hush, little baby, don't you cry. You know your daddy's bound to die. But all my trials, Lord, will soon be over.
Hey everybody, Joey Ciccone here. You are watching my show, The Way It Used to Be, okay? Vegas, Hollywoodland. Today's a special day. It's a little tribute day. It's a little bit different. But you're going to see my next guest that's going to come up, John Alita. I want to say it correctly. Heavy duty. I'm talking real good fella. Real good fella. I play him in movies. He's the real deal. He's going to be here. Phyllis is going to hang around. Phyllis is going to hang around with us. So let's pick up from there because, you know, sometimes when we're talking everything, we get off. Did you bring my scotch in? Is that the 7 and 7? Yeah. Just give me the bottle over here. But don't get on camera. You scare people. Thank you. Sure. That's JPEG. You call in, you ask for JPEG. All right? Joey Ciccone here with you. Little shout out to the little one. Stevens Point, Lola Ciccone. I'm watching everything, okay? Watching everything. Just playing with you. Love you. We got to give a shout out to my lovely wife, Robina.
Yeah, I know Robina.
You better
She's
believe
wonderful.
you do because you worked with her, right?
Yes, I did.
And you guys know each other, and
Yes,
you're here
yeah.
because of her.
Yeah, right.
And
yeah.
and we're so happy you're here.
Oh, thank you.
You're at
Nice to be
the
here.
domicile. Did I say it right?
Yes, the flight attendants, wherever there's a base, they have what they call a domicile. It's your home, away from home in a way. And when you get to the airport before a flight, you go in and you check your ID, you bring it up on the computer. There's a mail room there. They put notes in your mailbox or whatever. Briefing rooms are there. And then if you're tired, you can go to sleep. There's a big TV and
Yeah, you
lounges
hang out,
and
yeah.
something to eat or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's the pilots have theirs and
So
flight
everyone
attendants have theirs. Yeah.
Everyone was pretty low key. I
and
would
you know,
say.
usually the domicile was a very upbeat place, and everybody, you know, you'd see your friends, and it was, oh hi, where are you going? And I'm going here, I'm going there, and it was just fun. And we would all take our bags and put them in the bag room, and I tied a ribbon on mine because they all looked alike, and we all had different things. So you wouldn't take off with somebody else's bag and find out when you got to layover.
What did you tie on? What did you tie on?
A ribbon.
Can you stop right there?
Uh-huh.
tie a yellow ribbon
Yeah.
around the old oak tree.
Only it was blue.
Okay.
But anyhow, then after 9/11, that first day when I got up there was nobody there. I mean, it was so quiet. They had the baggage room where we put our bags previously now was roped off. We couldn't leave our bags there anymore. Had to keep them with us. And even in the domicile, which seems strange to me. But anyhow, I saw my supervisor, and I told her that I was sure that I had some of the hijackers on my flight on September 1st to Boston.
Exactly.
And she said, "Oh my God, Phyllis, you've got to call the FBI." Well, I had to catch that flight to D.C. I didn't have time to call the FBI, nor did I have their phone number, or anything.
Did you say FBI?
So, yeah, FBI.
They're not following you now or anything, are they?
I don't think so.
Okay,
yeah.
good. Yeah.
But
hide.
anyway.
You got nothing to worry about hiding. Yeah. Me and John are going to have to hide now after this. Nah, we're just playing. But, okay, so you talked to them, obviously.
Right, yeah. After I got back from that trip, I bought every magazine I could get my hands on and looking at the pictures of the hijackers and, making sure, okay, these are the guys. And so I called the FBI, and all you got was a recording because I think a lot of people were calling in. And about 2 minutes later, they called me back, and they said, "You're one we need to talk to." And so anyway, I told them what had happened and the whole story, and they called me back about 2-3 more times, and that was it. But it was scary because I remember I got home from the store, and I had a message, "Hi, this is Kevin from the FBI," and I thought, "Oh my God, you feel like, what have I done?" Or,
of course.
I don't know, it was just scary.
Of course,
but,
well, they're contacting you, but they needed to find out as much information as they could and everything else.
Yeah.
But just getting back, I'm just picturing it that, you're serving water, you're serving food to these guys, and I mean, in hindsight, like we said, if we only knew, I'd have a nice drink I'd like to serve them. It's a drink they won't wake up from.
Right.
Do you feel like I do out there?
Yeah.
Call in, talk to me, talk to Phyllis, all right?
Yeah. And, it's something I noticed, too, after 9/11, especially the first few weeks, everybody was so quiet on the planes, and they seemed much more polite and everything, but they were also very alert. Everybody looking around, watching everybody, and I think if anybody had gotten up and made a false move on that plane, the whole plane would have been on top of them. It just, people just weren't going to take it anymore,
No, that's it. Exactly. And that's, let me have that pen. I want you to, I just remembered something you told me yesterday. Remember when you were flying over lake, what is it?
Oh, right.
Tell that story, please.
Okay.
Check out this story, friends.
A couple of weeks before 9/11, I was on Flight 93, went from Newark to San Francisco, and it was an early morning flight, and we served breakfast on that flight. And after the breakfast was over and we'd put the carts away and everything, I was going down the aisle, and there were 3 guys, from the Mideast.
Middle Eastern.
Yeah, sitting there. And as I went down the aisle, they stopped me and they said, "Could you tell us what lake that is down there?" And I looked and I said, "Well, I think it's the tip of Lake Erie, but I'm not sure. I'll go ask the pilots and I'll let you know for sure." So I went up and asked the pilots, and they said, "Yeah, it's the tip of Lake Erie." So I went back and I said, "That's what it is, Lake Erie." And they wrote everything down, and they're just like this. And I thought, wow, they must be studying geography or something. There's, Well, Flight 93, that's where it turned around, was right at the tip of Lake Erie.
Right. So what she's saying is when they Flight 93, when it turned around, in that they already had, like, this is a place where we turn around.
Right.
She's still on or off? All right. Well, Lola, call back. Okay. All right. We'll get to you, honey. Call back.
Yeah. But they waited until breakfast was over, and the carts were out of the aisle.
Okay. Let's talk about that a minute. So they waited, and waited. Yeah. Everything was planned, and
yes, this was something that was going on for probably this whole thing with 9/11 did not just happen within a matter of a couple of weeks.
No.
The planning process, I believe, probably was going on for a couple of years.
Of course.
And I know I saw two of the hijackers, and it seems to me it was out of San Diego, and I was greeting at the door. And they got on, and they seemed so nice, so preppy and everything. And I just said to one of them, I said, "Hey, I like your shirt." And he turned back and he smiled at me, you know. But you remembered those things, and of course, you could tell they were not Americans. And so, after 9/11, here's their picture in Time magazine at an ATM. The camera got him, and he's wearing the same shirt.
The same shirt
that I commented on. It was the same guy.
Yeah. What do you think? You think he didn't change the probably for the whole days, the whole 9-10 days?
I don't know, but it was just, you know, nobody thought anything, and people would stop as they were getting off the plane and say, "Can we see the cockpit?" And they'd take pictures of the cockpit and things like that. And back then, we let them. You know, it was just no big deal.
You let them because this is how it was. It was open, and you know, and
then after 9/11, one of the things that we always did before a flight, when the pilots got on, we had a short briefing, and you know, they would ask us, you know, what signal do you want? Your knock on the door. We had a signal, and I'd always choose knock knock +1, 2 + 1, you know.
Yeah.
And sometimes we joke around, say 10 + 2, but it was just so easy going, and the pilots would always say, "Now, if you have any trouble back here, you just let us know." Okay. After 9/11, now there's no more secret knock. We go by a secret code word, and
that's right. That's right.
And they may have changed that by now, but anyway, that's what we did in the beginning. And I remember on one of the flights, the pilot got on and he said, "If you have any trouble back here, you're on your own."
Let me see.
So that was
hold on. We got a caller coming in. Who we got there? Joey Ciccone show. Who we got out there?
It's your daughter Lola from Stevens Point.
Hey Lola, how you doing today?
Great. How are you?
I'm here with my friend Phyllis, and we're talking about.
I know. I'm listening.
We're talking about
a great story.
September 11th, right? Do you remember that? How old were you then?
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember.
I think I was like 6, maybe.
Right.
6 or 7.
Yeah. Do you remember it? Do you remember it at all?
Oh, no, I wasn't. I think I was like 10, actually.
Yeah.
I do remember. I was in 4th grade.
And your friends were talking about it, I'm sure, when we lived in California, they were talking about it in school and everything, right? And
yep.
I'm sure it made everyone very nervous and a very uneasy feeling, huh?
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Did you want to ask Phyllis a question, honey?
How was it feeling, like, just being on that plane, like, and just knowing that you blew it, kind of thing? Like, you were there. Did you think anything was happening that was off or anything?
You know, I somehow I sensed something. I felt like these guys were on a mission or something. It was just, they were just so strange and so quiet and so intense, I guess you could say they were. Intense is probably the word, but
of course.
Yeah. I just sensed something, but you know, you just pass things off. You just don't think about it, and
didn't think anything of it. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
That's crazy,
isn't it? Though.
Well,
yeah.
I'm glad you're okay.
Thank you, honey. Thank you,
sweetie. We love you. We're gonna have to roll onto one of my songs. I'll talk to you. I'll talk to you later on. Stay out of trouble. It's Friday night.
Yep.
Don't make me. Don't make me. Don't make me come out there. All right. It's a long ride, and
all right, love you.
I'll be flying. Love you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Lola.
Let's jump into this song that I wrote after 9/11.
Oh, okay.
I think the song speaks for itself. And you know, you guys, you heard me croon a tune here. I have 200 different songs. There's all different styles. Check this one out. This will really get you. It's time for change.
Wake up every day, see another body pass away. Fight for our right. The general of our nation makes his pockets tight. I can't see what you see. survive. You should worry about the people here inside. Concerned with what you believe. Mothers get to see their sons and daughters free. I can't see what you see. Say we fight, keep our people free. And I don't believe in what you do. You fooled me once, second time's on you. Fooled us once, but the second time's on you. Kennedy, Martin Luther King, how they fought for peace. Now you screwed up the whole damn thing. And it's time for change. For change. Gotta have that change. Messed with our dreams. You have to finish your father's work and all the oil schemes. Saddam was just a boy while Bin Laden sits in his cave. You made our world your fucking toy. I can't see. Say we fight, keep our people free. And I don't believe in what you do. You monopolized it all. So the world belongs to you. Sir, it's time to change. Change. Gotta have that change. Change. Yeah, it's time to change. Change. Before it's too late.
And now, here's Joey Ciccone.
Hey everybody, how you doing? You know, we started out with September 11th. You know, we had to touch on that. Respect. I got a New Yorker here with me right now to my right, which I'm going to talk to you about. In this hour, I like to call this, really, I like to call it the family hour. You know what I'm saying? It's the mob hour, but it's the family hour, you know? You just don't understand things like words like omerta, all right? You keep your mouth shut, all right? We'll talk about that. My man to my right here is a gentleman that I was doing some reading about. Just did a signing last night at the Mob Museum, Oscar's place, all right? We're going to get into it, but this is John Alita to my right. John, welcome to Las Vegas.
Thank you, Joe. I
Yeah,
appreciate
he's
it.
a nice-looking guy, but, you know, so he's all right. He's all right.
Well, I still think I got you by a little, but
I don't know. We got to see. We'll see. Call in and see. 702-483-4444. All kidding aside, you're a very handsome man. Let me see this book over here that, let me tell you something right off the bat. We're on radio right now. Tomorrow will be, you'll get to see it live on YouTube, and you get to see what John actually looks like. Phyllis is still here with us. She's intrigued.
Yes, I am.
You like? Does he look good? He's a good-looking guy. Yeah, he kills people. He did. He did. Yeah, laugh. Yeah, it's real funny, but it's true.
It's not funny. But
All right. The bottom line is this. This is his book, Gotti's Rules. The story of John Alita, Jr. Gotti, and the demise of the American Mafia. All right. New York Times best-selling author, George, and let's see this, Anastasia, right? Sounds familiar over there, okay? This is a beauty, you know. You sold a lot yesterday, huh?
Yeah, it was.
You did a nice signing?
Yeah, it was a good signing.
Huh? And we had John, like I said, we talked to him, and my manager had talked to his people, and we're really happy to have you here, okay?
Thank you.
First of all, we started with Phyllis, and now we need to get back to the way things used to be. That's what my show's all about.
I got this. Here it is.
You got a point. You're pointing the thing at me already. We haven't even
but
started.
It's only a two-shot.
It's 5 after 5. No, it ain't even a two-shot. It's the Derringer look, but you like it, right?
Yeah, I like it. I used to carry these.
Yeah, I know you. They're nice, man, right?
Yeah, really
The
nice.
22?
22.
All right, what'd you do with it?
Two-shot Derringer. I used to use it a little bit.
All right, listen, I want to say I've played many roles, but you have lived the role, if I may say that. Okay? And what happened with Gotti? I mean, the bottom line is this. I want to know. People want to know. Do you want to know out there in radio land, TV land? What happened with John Gotti? Was he kicked out of the mob? What did they do? They shelf him? What did they do? You tell me, John.
Well, he got caught with paperwork that I supplied in the book to the author, George Anastasia, and it's placed in the book. He ratted. He went in and he cooperated, tried to cut a deal with the feds in, I believe it was about 2005, and he tried to hide that he cooperated.
That's what I was going to ask you. Was it something that, you know, I ain't cooperating with nobody. I ain't saying nothing. I ain't doing anything. Like nobody knew, but he was doing it.
Yeah, I mean, Joey, you know the life, so you're from Brooklyn. You understand this life, this world.
Gabish.
He made a phone call to make an appointment, not to have a piece of cake, but to go in and discuss who he can give up. So he did that, and he got caught, and he was shelved. He never quit.
Right.
And he's lucky he's alive.
Right, yeah. Is he alive?
Well, you know, from what I understand, he put himself on self-house arrest, so nobody really sees him. I guess he's scared to come into the boroughs, and that's where he stands now, home, alone.
All right, so what was your, let's get to it. Let's cut right to the chase, you know what I'm saying? What was your job? What did you do?
I was his babysitter. I mean, I was the guy protecting him. I was the guy that made him be able to come to the borough.
Okay. You're listening to the Joey Ciccone show the way it used to be. Can it get any more real? Hello? Hello? I'm with a real good fella. It's that simple. I love it because I've been around it my whole life. But the point is, I am an entertainer. I am an actor. And we love hearing stories like this. Because the best movies and the best stories are what? Mob movies. In fact, my script, the final chapter, you got a role in it.
Thank you.
We're putting you in it, all right?
Yeah.
You want to be in it?
I'm not going to be the guy cleaning the bathrooms, am I?
No, you ain't cleaning no baño hole. Forget about it. We're going to have you doing some really nice things you're used to. And let's talk about that a minute. So, yeah, you're his babysitter. You had to do some things. You had to do a lot of things.
Yeah, we got this ongoing thing.
You want to hold that a minute? You might
I can hold this. Let me hold this Derringer again. Feels good in my hand, but...
You like it in the hand?
Those days are gone. Yeah.
They're gone, but you remember the feeling.
Oh, I remember the feeling. The feeling never goes away.
And never. Wait till I show you the Eldorado and what's in the trunk.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah, the smell is just killing me.
Is it like
now.
that? Is it like the show when Robert De Niro's showing the trunk that he can fit 2 or 3 bodies in there?
Yeah, there's a lot. Exactly. John's going in there later.
Yeah, is he?
Yeah.
Which, this John or John Jr.?
No, Keith Stucco's going. No, please don't. Don't go create no problems. He's going in the trunk.
Oh, all right. I didn't know what you were talking about.
I got to dig the hole?
You're going to have to dig the hole. I got a bad back. I told you that.
All right, so what'd you do, man? Come on. You had to protect him?
Yeah, I was his protect. Well, you know what? All kidding aside, he made some comments that I was a junkie and things like that. And but when it came down to business, I was his protector. I was the guy that would go out and hurt guys for him. I was the guy that would go out and shoot guys for him and his family. And you can't turn those facts around.
No, you can't. You can't change them. I've heard from many wise guys that this was my job. This is what I did. Things are different now, but just like you might go to a job 8 to 5 in the morning, this was my job. And I hurt people, I did what I have to do. How do you feel about that?
Well, you know, that's something, you know, we could joke about it, but on a serious note, you know, you go through some tribulations with it, and, you know, I talk about therapy, and I talk about apologizing to some of these families, and I talk about, you know, you got to look in the windshield. You can't look at the rearview mirror anymore because there's nothing you can do about it. You got to try to get past it somehow. And, you know, by doing these shows, and we joke around on one level, but on the other level, it's, you know, it's serious, and, you know, we sit and we talk prior to this, and you know, it's something you got to work through every day. Is a new day for you.
I love it. And right now, I don't know if you're noticing, but like, I'm very comfortable. Have you noticed that, Phyllis? Have you noticed that?
I can't believe you are with this going.
Am I very relaxed right now?
You seem to be. Yes.
It's just like, you know, right? Yeah. My manager, my producer's like, yeah, he is. I know. Yeah. No, I feel very comfortable. You're pointing that freaking thing at me.
That's right. That's what I'm saying. I'm surprised you're comfortable. I'm going to put that down.
No. It's there for you to play
But does it light up?
Well, I need butane in the thing. But this one does. This is nice. It's a nice gift from this came from a good fella. Look at that.
Really?
Yeah. It's not a gift. You can look at it.
I thought you were giving it to me.
Yeah. See right away. Still waiting on the book. Anyway, that is the book, and it's I don't know if you noticed. I'm going to say it again. New York Times best-selling author, right here. It's your story, right?
Yeah, it's my story.
And what do you say? I mean, it would have been nice, like, if I could have sat down and read the book and which I will do. So we definitely got to have you back for the 2-hour. You got to come back out, and we're going to do 2 hours with me.
Yeah, well, you could listen to the audio. There's an audio on that.
Yeah,
I know you're a busy guy.
Well, yeah, I'll listen.
Besides, when you're in that caddy, you can't read at the same time. So.
Not just that. Is it on? What's it on? CD?
I don't think they got the cassettes anymore, Joey.
It don't even have cassette on the thing. We talk about cassette. This one used to listen to 8 tracks. Stupid. Real stupid. 8 tracks. Now I'm playing Friends. Call in. I'm with John Alita. I'm talking good fella, man. Whack people for a living. It's great, all right? It's what it was. Let's just put it that way. 702-483-4444. You want to ask him a question? You want to say something? You want to talk to me? Got my beautiful friend Phyllis here, all right? 9/11. You know what he would have did to some of these guys, all right? If we could only just grab them before that happened. And I can say it. Number one, it's my show. The station will say, you know, the views are the hosts. These are my views. We would do certain things to them, right?
Oh, those are the guys that you really got to do some things to.
I don't think we want to whack them. I think we want to torture them.
No, I torture them. You got to put them out here in the desert.
Yeah,
give me some nice spots out there.
What's some nice torture?
Well, for those guys, we got to.
Right, we see stuff, but we see stuff, you know, like, I'm just throwing this at you since I'm an actor. We see casino, we see this, they do things. What are some other things?
Well, you got the drill gun to the knees, you know, slow, to the hands.
Yeah, see,
and those guys, they got to get the drill gun.
Right, and you know, like we're saying, we're kind of joking and everything, but really we're not. This is like
with those guys, 9/11. No, that's something that, you know, I can't, and you know, Phyllis, because you have personal experience with this. There's, to me, they get no mercy. You know, that I can't even watch some of these shows. Nicolas Cage was in a show, a TV show last week. I turned it off. You can't watch it because you know it's not a show. It's reality of people slowly knowing they're going to die with no way out. And, you know, and we're not talking about gangsters that joined up for this stuff. We're talking about everyday hardworking people, mothers, daughters, sons, brothers. So it's something that this country can never forget. And
that's
in one way, though, it banded this country together back in the days of the first, second wars, where this country really did stand together again. So, you know, it shows how strong this country is. It is the greatest country in the world.
No, that's beautiful, man. That's very well said. You're very well educated, and you know, you speak nice. Don't think you're going to get your own show, but I'm just saying.
They offered me something in
who?
I can't tell you that.
All right, we'll talk over dinner. All right, I want to read something. It's fun. I got headphones on over here. It's incredible. Over the course of 25 years career as a gangster, he brutalized people, stabbing them, shooting them, beating them with clubs, blackjacks. I got one. Don't tell anybody. Baseball bats. Okay? Played a character at a place I told you last week or 2 weeks ago. Played Anthony Spilatro. Always got that bat. It's in the trunk right now. And Johnny, you know, it says like, you know, I'm not proud of that, but he doesn't try to hide it either, which I respect from either people know this is what you did, and it's not like. How about post-traumatic stress? You ever, are we ever like,
Well, when I first came home, I was diagnosed with it.
I have it, to be honest with you.
I have it to an extent still. And,
right?
Yeah.
I mean, we could talk about this as real men. We could say we have it.
I don't have no problems, talking about crying, talking about being a human being. So, we're human beings. We do things that are bad. We do things that are good. We do things with regret. And there's a lot of regret in my life, unfortunately. But, like I said earlier, every day's a new day. You turn it around. And that's what I do with my life now. So I'm not that same guy that was back then.
Man, you're a bad dude. That's all I want to say. What do we got coming up? We take a little break here, huh? Give me a little tune. Give me a little tune. Give me a Joey tune. Something. We're going to be right back with my buddy, John Alita. My beautiful friend, Phyllis, over here. To my left. Tommy Dreesen, happy birthday. We'll try to give you a call over here, see if we can reach you. Joey Ciccone Show. I'll be right back. Hey, everybody. Joey Ciccone, you're back with me, my fantastic guest. You like that lighter, huh?
I like the gun. I like the lighter. I even got a new glass of water. I'm not sure if it's fresh.
I don't know about it.
He claims it is, but I think he maybe gave me some bad water.
Well, yeah, but don't worry about it. If it is, he already knows what's going to happen.
He's going to the desert, too?
Yeah, we take a ride right after this, 6 o'clock. By 6:15, he's down in the thing, and we go eat.
We're going to dinner at 7.
Yeah, we got to have sausage and the peppers and everything. Phyllis, you having fun?
I am.
All right, the way it used to be. Las Vegas. Talking to Mike, sweetheart. The way it used to be. Joey Ciccone here. Samantha, we got John's friend here in the house, my manager and my producer over there fiddling around with stuff. JPEG doing some stuff here with the camera. We're so happy to be here on a Friday. I want you to have a great weekend. Be safe out there, all right? All right? John's book is right here. He was at our place over here, our good friend's place, the Mob Museum, doing a signing. We hope that you're going to be able to do more signings here in Vegas and New York. I'd like to come out there and see my La Familia, and you're going to do some in New York, maybe some other places, or what? What's lined up?
You got to come eat dinner with me on
yeah, eat dinner. If you're going to invite me, I'm going to come.
No bulletproof vest.
Nah, come. What do you think? What do you
just
think?
Saying.
Just fell out of a tree. I'm all right.
Yeah, all right, Joe.
All right?
Yeah.
Is it an invitation or no?
Invitation both ways. I'll come out here, you come there.
Oh, you come to my house, we'll make the pasta. We'll make the pasta and everything together. This is the book, all right? I'm going to ask you some things now. And you could plead the fifth if you want. All right, what makes a good leader, all right? All right, you tell me. I got a lot of friends and fans out there. Nobody's calling. I want you to call. Again, let me give you the number, 702-483-4444. Pick up the phone. Call me. Let's talk and everything. But what makes a good leader? I know what makes a good leader in the normal life, but let's put the cards on the table. In your life, what makes a good leader?
Well, the perception of loyalty and the belief that there's loyalty in the streets and the mob is what makes a good leader. A good leader is somebody that protects his guys.
Right.
A leader is somebody that takes the fall for his guys. A leader is a guy that retaliates if somebody hurts or kills any of his guys. And a leader is a guy that earns money for his guys.
Right.
And he moves them in the right direction, and he takes the forefront. But I'm sorry to say, I said it yesterday, the public's perception of John Gotti Sr. was all those things. None of it's true. He wasn't a businessman. He was egotistical. He didn't make the family money in legitimate business.
Gabish, right.
He allowed our guys to get killed. He never killed them. Anybody, no retaliation back. He killed our own guys. And any of his guys that got in his way, Angelo Ruggiero, who brought him into the mob, Neil Delacroce's nephew, a killer, a loyalist to John Gotti Sr. since they're kids, John Gotti Sr.'s drug partner. When he got caught on those tapes, he dispensed Angelo like he didn't know him. He left him dying on the bed, wouldn't visit him.
Is that all in here?
Yeah, there's Angelo's stories in there, parts of it.
I want to jump. We got a friend, Mike Steele, on the phone. Mike, how you doing?
Good, Joey. How are you
Good,
today?
buddy boy. You're on the air with me and John Alita, okay, and our friend Phyllis over here. What do you got to say there, buddy?
And Mr. Alita, I have a question, sir.
Go ahead, I'm listening.
when you were with active and the families in New York, you see, when you see detective stories and they have the charts, the graphs of the levels of members and etc. Where would you have fit in that? And my second question is, did you ever work with Sammy Gravano?
Yeah, well, Sammy's obviously was the underboss of the Gambino family. So, yeah, we had dealings together. And as far as charts and graphs, that's depending on who's setting that chart and what that's about. In other words, if there's a case out of Brooklyn and it's a drug case and I'm involved in that drug case, depending on what guys are involved in that drug case. So that's subject to what exactly is going on. But if it's just talking about a family chart, as a non-Italian, as an Albanian, you're not going to hit that chart. But on the streets is a different story. Who runs the streets? So that has nothing to do with heritage. You can be like, I brought it up yesterday about Meyer Lansky or Bugsy Siegel, and you can bring these guys up, and Joe Watts, and I could go on with dozen names of guys that were typically on the street known as powerful bosses that weren't even Italian. So that perception or that ideal of being Italian only in the mob is not accurate. It's for guys, I guess, and average public people that don't understand that the mob, what the mob brings is this: fear, a violent guy, an earner, and someone who has the ability to move people. And guys like Jimmy Burke, obviously, the movie Goodfellas, was an Irish guy. And I don't know too many guys are going to tell Jimmy Burke when he was alive, no, you're not Italian, you're not no tough guy. Yeah, right, right. And exactly. And I just have to totally agree with you that, and Mike, you're hearing it from John that, yeah, it wasn't just the, the paisans. I mean, we got, the Jews, the Irish, there's all different. So John just said it right there. You don't have to be. Now, you got to be full-blooded Sicilian, Gabi, to be made, right? Well, that's why we're talking about Gotti's rules again, because he broke that rule and he made his son John Gotti Jr., who's Jewish. You're hearing it right now on the Joey Ciccone show, all right? So yeah,
absolutely amazing,
isn't it? Isn't he great? Is he great or what?
It's very, very interesting, and I really appreciate it. And also, your music is absolutely beautiful, Joey. Mike, that's I really appreciate you saying that. I know it's from the heart because I know you, and you're a really good person. What are you doing? You're looking at. No, I just. Phyllis again is looking at John's picture, and he's got like it looked like he lifted 5,000 weights. Yeah. He's in the jumpsuit, and again she's like, nice look. I'm over here. I'm right here. Mike. Yes. I think I got a new sidekick over here with John. You know what I'm saying? I think you got the real thing.
I do. I do have the real thing. And only on the Joey Ciccone show.
I want to thank you, Joey and John and Phyllis. Great show.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you. I'll talk to y'all later.
Right. Hey, Mikey, take care. God bless.
You too. Bye bye.
All right, buddy boy. Let's talk about the drugs and stuff, okay? Well, as far as drug dealing, we're known is we're involved in everything, but we're drug dealers. Right. Well-dressed drug dealers. We carry ourselves a little different than the average guy, and we were supposed to keep a low-key profile about dealing drugs. And again, I came out of doing what I used to do, and I talk openly about my past for the good and the bad. Yeah, that's good. And I was a drug dealer. Right. We moved heroin, we moved coke, we moved pot, we moved pills. And John Gotti Jr. was my partner in the drug business. Wow. He himself denies ever being involved in the business, but I mean, this is a guy, let me backtrack a little bit. Please. That since he's a kid was shooting steroids. He was sticking needles in his arms. Right. But then he'll call another guy in the neighborhood that smokes a joint a junkie. So it's relative to who you're talking to. What does somebody consider a junkie? The guy putting a needle in his arm or the guy smoking a joint? Right. To me, the guy smoking weed's just a hipster, relaxing and smoking it, Right, but now on the sales part, he caught a case back when he caught a case with Scores. I believe it was about 94 or something like that. Right around there it was. He got caught with, again, on a drug case with Vinny Zolo, who was co-defendant on different counts of drug charges. robberies, sales of drugs.
Right, exactly.
And, you know, you might plea off these cases.
Yeah.
Like I plead off my cases, the drug cases. And you'll take the credit card fraud, you'll take the tax evasion, and you won't take the drug charge. But you're still a drug dealer, you're still robbing drug dealers. And any way we try to manipulate that, that's what we were. Right. I mean, he got caught in Coney Island years ago with a car full of drugs. What were they? They supposedly they were steroids. Who are you giving the steroids to? I mean, so they were horse tranquilizers or whatever they are. But, you know, nobody's checking what else is in that needle. Something's in that needle, obviously.
Right.
And that
Sure.
case went away.
Sure.
So, you know, what I'm saying is when you live like we live,
Yeah.
don't throw a rock at somebody's house when you got a glass house yourself.
Exactly.
So, you know, you got to take the blame for what we do.
Now, a lot of families didn't want to deal with drugs, and you know, I understand things changed as the years went by, but I'm going back a little bit.
Well, not necessarily. It really didn't change. What changed was this. I can deal drugs, and we know our rules. If you get pinched dealing drugs, you're going. You're getting
Right.
killed.
Right.
And one of the reasons a lot of these guys didn't want any drugs being dealt is because they understood the implications of the charges with drug dealing, the heavy, heavy charges. So guys don't want other guys dealing drugs because they know they're going to flip. Or a good possibility they're going to flip once they get hit with a drug case.
Right. So now, with that being said, and this ain't no picture of you hanging out at, the Cosmopolitan. So you did time.
I did a ton of time. That's pictures from Brazil when they caught me on the run. I was on the lam. And I was in about 20 different countries.
Look at Phyllis. She's like, it's lovely.
And that's where they end up catching me there.
You were in Brazil then?
Yeah, I did a couple of years, a little more than 2 years in the penitentiaries in Brazil.
What were you doing? You were hiding out, just trying to get away and stuff? And
Yeah, I was hiding out,
you?
moving money. I went through several countries. Cuba, one of them I lived in.
We have friends. Yeah, we have some good friends
yeah.
in Cuba. We're doing some business there now as an entertainer, you know. So.
Oh, I love it there.
Yeah,
I'm going
we'll
with
over
you
there
next time.
I got the Cuban cigars at the house, and then you'll come with me?
I'm definitely coming with you.
All right.
We ain't swimming, are we?
No, there ain't no swimming or not, but I'm gonna need a bodyguard. You know, I'm gonna need one.
All right, I'm coming with you.
But it's legit stuff, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'll bring my lighter and I'll bring this fake Derringer. And I got your back.
What do you want to hear? I got 200 songs. What do you want to hear?
Oh, D. Martin, if you have.
I don't think I got. What, did I record Dino? Yeah, do we got what do we got by Dino in there? There's something in there. Yeah, there's I can't think, and my engineer's looking.
I don't think we have it.
Yeah, there's something in there. How about you want some Italian?
Yeah, give me some. Well, I'm Albanian.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, that's all right. We won't hold that against you.
All right, don't hold it against me. But
all
I
right,
got
give
some good Albanian artists. I know we don't have any here.
No.
Okay,
no.
so I'm gonna have to settle.
Well,
for
we're gonna
Italian.
take a little break with John. We'll figure out what we're gonna play and kind of regroup here. All right, John Alita, good fellow, man. What can I say? The real deal. Check this book out. Where can we get this book?
That's in Barnes and Noble. It's on Amazon. It's on Kindle. It's all over.
All right, it looks like a good read. I can't wait to, as they say, wrap my lips around. Well, not that, but I'd like to sit down and read it. What are you laughing about, John? What? You think this is funny?
No, he's laughing about the fake water.
No, you said it.
I'm listening to some jokes on the radio.
You gave me bad water. I think he's laughing that I'm drinking it.
On the break, we'll go crack him a little bit. We'll be right back. Joey Ciccone. You are listening to The Way It Used to Be. To my right, a real good fella. All right? Gotti's right-hand man. Yeah, you hurt people for a living, man. People get out of line. You got to do what you got to do. That was his job. He's got a different life now, and I'm happy for him. But John, seriously, on a nice note, it's like being back home. Just talking to family. But you're really sincere. I really believe what you're saying, and you did things, and maybe you feel bad about it, but life goes on. Hopefully, you've changed in that. My friend Phyllis stayed around here on 9/11. She was bringing those degenerates from Denver to Boston, and me and John were talking on the break things we want to do, but they're mort, as they say. They're dead. The only thing is, I wish I could bring back all the people in those buildings. But on that note, I just want to say one thing about myself, and this was something nice an award that I got for Best Jazz Song, Joey Ciccone, for She Is Gone. That's on the album I'm giving you. See, I brought a gift for you, but I got Ugats.
Well, you know how that works, Joe.
Yeah, what? You're going to tell me go buy the book, right?
No, I wasn't going to say go buy the book. I was going to tell you go steal the book.
All right, well, that'll do. It's right here. Sam, I take it. I would take this one, but it's signed to you. It ain't going to do me no good. He's signing my car, but I'll tell you, or he ain't getting a ride back. Anyway, Academia, I want to thank you in Los Angeles. Best Jazz Song for, what was it, May? Yeah, Music Award, Best Song. She Is Gone, May 15th, 2015. And you've heard that. We've played that on the show. You were admiring this picture.
Actually, I was just wanting to read everything, and it's a great picture,
Did you want to look at...
Looks very handsome.
Johnny's book.
In orange.
You know, like he's, you know, it's nice when you're like a good fellow that's good, a good-looking good fellow. We like that. You know, don't get me wrong, but senior with the clothes, Teflon Don. Come on, man. Talking like a calculon on the street, talking to everybody, tapes running. Am I right? You're sitting there smiling at me. Tomorrow we're going to see it. You know,
well, that was the downfall.
No, I mean tomorrow we're going to see it live. You know, when it hits the air, and it's going to be great because it's like, yeah, you can't touch me, but how do you like the suit?
Yeah, right. I mean, he thought he was George Clooney.
By the way, that was good. That was a lot of guys think they are. I don't know. I don't know why. How do you
I
like
think we need to talk to George.
How do you like my tux?
I think you look sharp.
All right, you like it?
Good thing I didn't wear that hanky. I have the same one, basically. I switched.
I wore this for you tonight. Now here. Okay.
I hope I get some luck because I was playing the other night. I had no luck. That's what I need.
Spet. Let's see if you do now. You have a chance.
Right.
We're gonna play. Maybe you'll play tonight. Either 7 or 11 for Mr. Alite. Call it, sir.
7.
Mika, 7 winner.
Maybe that'll bring me some luck tonight.
Yeah, they're loaded dice. Forget about it. Yeah, what do you want?
Can I bring those with me?
Well, I'll think about giving you things. We're going to talk about it. You know, I heard some things. You know, and I was reading little bits and parts when I could get my hand on it during the break. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know. Are you hanging out with cops, or you know, you doing things with cops? Because personally, and it's my show, and I can say it. You know.
Go ahead. I got the gun.
All right. Well, and I really don't need to say it because you know what I'm already saying before I even say it.
I know what you're going to say because I've heard it actually since I got off the plane down here.
Yeah, it don't work too well with me.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Well, listen. I know
all right, right? I could say it.
There's guys that, you know, Phil Baroni was one of the guys, was a Gold Shield detective, and he lived up the block from me. I knew him since I was a kid. He was on the job.
Right.
We got friendly.
Right.
And I moved him a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, I think I moved him a lot a bit because he was involved in the Grasso murder with me.
Mickey, he got wow.
He did
really?
some home invasions with me of drug dealers. We used that badge to get in, his badge. And he was my bookmaking partner, loan shark partner. He grew up in Woodhaven, Jamaica Avenue, Queens.
Yeah,
with
I
me.
know. I know right
And then
where it's
I
at.
moved to South Jersey. I bought some houses out there, and he followed me out there and moved across the street from my other house.
Is that where you're at now? South Jersey?
I can't tell you that, Joe.
We'll give you the address right now. I got the address right here.
No, I'm in Central Jersey.
Yeah, all right. He's in Jersey.
I'll
He's somewhere in
address.
somewhere in Jersey with Bon Jovi hanging out. What do I know? I don't know.
Bon Jovi still looks good. No,
John's good. Make you, man. He looks good.
Yeah.
The guy. You know what I'm saying? Nice. Yeah. Well, when you got money like that, you could do things. It's all right. But we look good.
Yeah. Well,
what?
I was in the dressing room for 2 hours before I came.
Where
out.
you wanted to make sure you had the right clothes and everything.
Yeah,
right?
I have the right. Yeah.
Yeah, you got a nice.
I don't
tan.
need a wig yet, but I'm good that way.
Right. Where are you staying at? You're staying at a hotel over here. We don't need to name that either.
Yeah. You don't want to know?
Well, I know where it's at.
Okay.
I got to drop you off there now in a little bit. All right. You're springing for dinner. Lawrence, how you doing? Everything? You look real excited. Don't say nothing, okay? Because we'll put you in the hole too, okay? All right. So, I'm gonna be splitting in a while, but I just want to talk about just a few things real quick. My guest for next Friday is Santo Servino and his brother Pete. Santo's, man, a fantastic drummer. Played with the biggest people in the world, and Pete's like his protege, and we've done work together as actors, and so you're gonna see those boys with me next Friday from 4 to 6. Got some other big special guests popping up, you know, from LA, and And man, I hope I can get John to come back once I read this beautiful novel. So we talked about where we can get it. Let's see here. Whenever possible, underlines must take the weight of crime, right? Did I say that right?
Yes.
Pending
The
against
underlings, yeah.
Yeah, underlings. Pending against Gotti or his family. Okay? So when was the last time you talked to Gotti?
The last time I talked to him was probably in the courtroom. Besides that, I've been inviting him on any show that I go on to sit across with me. And since I'm not killing anybody and I'm out of that life, and since he's out of that life, and I'm not sure, I'm just curious what he's going to tell people. Did he get thrown out of that life? Did he get quit? Is he cooperate? Is he a rat? But he won't get on camera with me, so
Does he want to come here? He could be on this show. I could be like the mediator.
No, he likes to gamble, so maybe he'll come to Vegas. That might be
nice.
something that we can get him to come here.
You all right? You got water? Did you drink that water?
I don't know if I should trust him with this water.
Yeah, it's all right. No,
I think he talked to Gotti. He sent me this. All right, he's testing it for us.
We're laying it down. Call in right now, 702-483-4444. You're on the Joey Ciccone Show. Okay, well, you're listening to it right now. You're going to see it on a podcast real soon, the way it used to be. I'm talking about Vegas the way it used to be. Movie land, Hollywood land. Real guys like this, come on. It don't get real like this. We're not talking movies right now. I do movies. I played these parts, you know, but this is the real deal. John's got some really interesting stories. You want to say hello to him? Call in. Pick up the phone. It's local, 702-483-4444. We got just a little bit more time. Phyllis, how you doing, darling?
I'm just doing fine.
Everything's fine?
Yes.
We really enjoyed having you here today, and we're happy
Very
that...
interesting.
Isn't it? I told you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I told her. I said, stay. You know, John's going to come, and he'll come with the pizza. And she goes, well, I don't like the anchovies on the pizza that he's going to bring. So I said, well, maybe half of it will be just plain cheese. And that's why she's lying, okay? Just go along with it. These are free. They're jokes, all right? Did you hear the one I just wrote? Did you want to hear it? Huh? The guy, he's Polish. He drops the phone in the pool. The phone gets wet, right? What do they tell you to do with the phone when it's wet? What do they tell you to do with the phone when it's wet?
Put it in rice.
Yeah, so he boiled the water, put the rice in there, and threw the phone in. Try to keep the drum beat a little longer. It don't need to be that short.
He didn't like the joke.
I got a
so
light.
He kept it short.
Oh,
Light's good joke. He leaves it
a light's
long.
laughing. I'm happy that he's laughing. If I can make him laugh, I'm
I
happy.
actually think you're a pretty funny guy.
Thank you. Funny how?
Yeah, you know,
Funny how? What?
amuse me.
Yeah, what?
You
I'm here to make you happy. All right. What's nice is with John, you know, it's the real deal. But as he was talking earlier, we can joke and we can have fun with it. But it's some serious stuff. Some serious stuff he was doing. Got a little bit more time, so shine some light on some things. First of all, do you come out to Vegas a lot?
No, actually, the last time I was out here was with John Gotti Jr. And
Okay.
it was 85, about 84 or 85.
Right.
And so it's been a while.
So I always ask this question, being an entertainer out here for 11 years and 25 years in Los Angeles. I told you, born in Brooklyn, New York, Avenue U, raised in Chicago, in Cicero.
Okay.
So I've kind of traveled the map, but my point being is Vegas ain't what it used to be, you know?
Well, you know, listen, the world changed everywhere, so...
Because our people
Yes.
don't control it.
No.
I talk to people day in and day out. What's the first thing you think they tell me? Vegas was the best when the mob controlled it.
Well, listen.
What's your take on that?
My take is I got to agree on some points that I believe so too. But that doesn't mean it's okay to live that life and break the laws and do what we want to do. Because me and you could live a different way also if we wanted to cross the street and go back on the bad side.
Yeah, man, you know, it's...
So, you know, you can't do it. Even though there's things that we miss about it, but, you know, life is to enjoy, but the right way. And that's the bottom line.
Okay, are you? Let me ask. I got to ask this one. You know, I don't hear no callers calling in, which you should be calling me right now. But they're probably wondering, like, is he a religious guy?
You know, when I was in prison, and we were raised to say that if you find religion in there, you're weak. So I never really I didn't go to church. I wasn't baptized until I was in prison. Actually, my godfather was Joe Gambino. He baptized me in church, and I really liked the guy. He's a gentleman. He was always a nice guy.
I love it.
And I wasn't overly religious at all, but when I came home and I turned my life around, and I believe that I'm alive for a reason. I believe I went through everything for tribulations I've been through for a reason, so I do have faith. And I definitely think there's a higher being. And I think that you have to live your life the right way, and there's consequences if you're not.
But you miss that life.
Well, there's always going to be aspects of your life you miss. I mean, it's like a ball player, a musician, an actor. You're in the limelight. There's a lot of excitement on a constant basis, and you have to find that adrenaline rush in a different way, and in a positive direction, a positive way. And I think some of the adrenaline rush for me now is found by trying to talk to kids about staying away from what I'm doing, because the pain of jail isn't only it. There's the pain of losing family members while you're in there that pass away. And I'm not talking about gangsters. I'm just talking about cousins, brothers, uncles. And that pain of losing your kids. And when you went in, they were 8 years old. When you came out, they're adults, and they're 22 years old, 23 years old, 25 years old.
Right.
And some guys never see their kids again, like Mark Ryder, who lost his child because of this life. And he got a life sentence for a man that wasn't loyal back to him, John Gotti Sr. So things, you know, it's easy for a guy in the street, a regular everyday Joe, calling me or somebody else, or even John Gotti Jr. a rat, because they're not living it. They have no idea, no concept of what goes on in that life. I'm not a mechanic. I don't know anything about an engine. I won't talk about a car engine. But for some reason, you have these citizens that we call, that we call a regular guy out in the street, that have this opinion to write something or say something and talk out of school, because they know that you're not killing anybody anymore.
Right.
So
Right.
if you were that same guy, they'd be hiding somewhere. So, you know, you have to deal with it. As you become an adult and you become somebody that's more responsible, and somebody that looks at children and say, hey, what do you want them to follow? Do you want them to follow some drug deal, or do you want them to follow an attorney or a guy like President Obama? Like him or not, he's a gentleman, and it doesn't matter about politics anymore. So,
you got any kids?
I got 4 children.
I don't.
Yeah.
How old are they?
My oldest is going to be 26. My other one, my middle's 24.
Boys, girls, both?
3 boys and a girl, and my daughter is more trouble than all 3 boys.
How old's your girl?
She's 23. Good. I mean, I love my daughter. She's a good girl, but you know.
Yeah, my girl called in.
Girls are always
She called in from college. She just left I drove her to college in Wisconsin, and
she asked for money already.
Not yet, but I'm like,
that's next week.
Yeah, next week. You know, you just send it and you deposit it in the account. But like, I'm over. You know, there's a little bit of the stress.
Yeah, well,
you know what I'm saying?
When they first leave, you're sure.
That's what the thing is. But wow, Mink, you got 4, huh?
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Are they all in New York?
2 are in New York, 2 are in Jersey.
That's fantastic, man. And you're a single man?
I'm a single man.
So did you have some fun here in Vegas, or I got to make some calls?
I think you might have to make some calls. I don't know.
You
know a lot of people here?
Yeah, well, showgirls. What do you want?
Oh, you meant showgirls.
What do you want? I mean,
I thought you were making some calls so we go out and
we
eat
could do
and
that.
drink like I used to, where I can get in somewhere.
Well,
I'm not waiting on the line.
No, I know a place I could take you that you'd really like.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got some Scott Oil in your pocket where you could take care of it?
No, we could stop somewhere and get something, then we'll go.
And we're not talking about vegetables, friends. Yeah, but although the Scott Oil is good, it's very good for you. The greens with the garlic, you would love it. The olive oil, mwah, I would love it. How much time I got left over here? 5. You telling me I got? Are you telling me, or are you telling him? I asked a question. Now you're getting smart now. You're being a wise guy.
I'm a troublemaker. See what I got him doing?
Yeah.
I gave him the signal to give you a hard time.
The signal. Hard time.
Give it to him.
Yeah, John, go ahead. John, you want to ask you something?
Yeah, I just want to ask you, when you were back in the life, what was the general opinion of what you might call civilians?
So, well, civilian is, I think I got your question, because that was worded bad, by the way.
Yeah,
well,
good thing he's doing the radio.
Because he's, you don't even know what he's talking about.
Well, a civilian is...
What kind of question is that? I don't even know why I let you ask the question.
A civilian is exactly what you're doing. You go to work, somebody outside the street world, not even a gangster.
Right.
I'm not talking about a mob gangster. I'm not talking anybody that's not in the street selling drugs, breaking the law, shaking down guys, baseball batting guys, doing something illegal is a civilian. And
someone living like the normal life, 8 to 5 or whatever. He's doing. He ain't dealing drugs. He ain't hurting people. You know what I'm saying? You're a civilian.
Right. What was the attitude towards those people by the people?
Listen, I'll answer that for you. I got that. He tried to say that in Spanish, but I understand Spanish.
Yeah, I know. Right?
Habla. Entiende todo.
He was in Brazil too, by the way.
I was in all over the world. I got a friend of mine who's an attorney, and I spoke about him yesterday. Growing up, he never got into a fight in his life. He's a strong guy, a nice guy, a gentleman. He's the biggest man there is. I talk about Timmy all the time, his brother Kevin. They're great guys. These guys were ball players, men's men, as guys would say, athletic, just gentlemen. And they're what I call citizens. They never got involved in my end of what I was doing. And we always stayed buddies our whole lives and just completely men, just really good guys.
All right, John, did he answer it good for you?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Stiles,
nada.
we appreciate it. Listen, you guys, I hope that you've had a wonderful time with me and my wonderful guest today. Just to, in closing, Phyllis, thank you so much, first of all.
You're so welcome. Thank you.
You're a very sweet lady, and, thank God that you weren't on that plane. I pray for all your friends that you lost. New York City, I love you. All the friends that I lost in that building. Pray for you every day. The firefighters, everybody. The lady that they called the dust lady or whatever, she passed away of cancer. A lot of people are sick and everything. It's a sin. Me and John would do things to these guys if we could get our hands on them. But they're gone and everything. So that's over. We got to protect America. I want to thank my guest here, John Alita, a real gentleman. Okay? I want you to check out his book. Please buy the book. Okay? And the proceeds just going to you, or I don't know. I'm just asking. It goes in your pocket or what? I mean, are you
What's
doing
that?
The proceeds from the book?
No, doesn't go to my pocket.
All right. Well, go ahead.
But if you want to send some money to me, I'll take it.
Yeah, I know you would take the money, but I'm just saying. I mean, I didn't
now
know
we could give the address. If they're
all right,
going to send money,
if you're sending money, I'll give you the Green Cat Ventures address. But John Alita, a real gentleman and a real good fellow. Okay, so check him out. Me and him are going to hang out, take some pictures, go for a little ride in the El Dorado. Because it feels like home for me. So listen, you're watching the Joey Ciccone Show, the way it used to be. This is the way it used to be right here, baby. I'll see you next Friday between 4 and 6. Till then, ciao.
Somewhere